it's an April Fool's Guide to it's not even going to come out on April Fool's Day, so that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's just an artist guide. I guess I'm the artist to Wildemount. Neil, we're never going to revisit this book because there's no more subclasses in it. How do you say it?
Wildemount.
Is Wildemount. I thought it might
Wildemount.
be, but yes.
Yeah.
We've done 2 videos so far talking about the other 2 classes, the Echo Knight and the Chronergy magic guy. Check those out if you haven't. They're great. They're alright.
Unbiased review. They are great.
They're really good.
I was in it. It's great.
But we're going to talk today about the Graviturgy.
Gravy Night magic.
I'm going to say straight out of the gate, why is it Chronergy and Graviturgy? Why didn't they go like Gravomancy or something? I just think it's weird that they're both urgies. Does anyone else agree with me with that?
I don't know what the specific definition for urgy is, so I'm not sure.
It's like an argy-bargy, but it's an urgy-gurgy. It's another wizard. You know what, in the last video, there was like 3 minutes before like anything happened on the screen.
We're trying to stop that this time.
Which was way too long. So yeah, as we say, all these classes are to do with Dunamancy, which is the new magic thing. This one weirdly doesn't actually specifically talk about Dunamancy in the the flavor text for it.
No.
I assume it's related to it, as the other ones are, and that's kind of like the whole thing I understand from what this setting is bringing, like, new. That's the whole thing. But, as with most of the other classes, this one is usable outside of the Wildemount setting just fine.
Probably even more so if there's no flavour about it.
That's true. You wouldn't even have to
take it out. It's ready-made.
Exactly.
I think that is the strength of all 3 of these classes, is that they stand on their gimmick. I use the word gimmick nicely, without having to stand on Dunamancy.
Yeah.
I think the most difficult one is the Echo Knight, just because it's the most like weird and specific.
You have to explain like a kind of specific reason why they'd have that and it not be that.
Yeah.
In our own comments section, we had a bunch of people talking about their different ideas, didn't we?
Which were all pretty great. I liked them all. Good job, commenters.
Yeah, all equally. I
loved them all 10 out of 10.
I hated them all except one, and you know who you are.
Anyways, we were talking about like with the Chronergy, it's quite simple to imagine like a time wizard. It's not that's not a mind-bending concept if you like fantasy. And I think, again, a wizard who controls like gravitational forces, that's easy to get your head around.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about what I'm drawing first to kind of get out of the way. When I was thinking about it being like a force manipulation thing, I spent a long time trying to figure out what race I wanted to draw for this. And I mentioned to you guys in the chat this morning, I dreamt about it, that I had to the point where I had a very peculiar dream, and maybe I'll even draw that as like a bit at the end or something. I dreamt that I was going to draw a stack of pancakes or a cube and just claim it was a Warforged. That was what I was going to do in my dream.
There's an insight there.
I see no problem on that.
It was very long and in depth. I was like, a stack of things like squashed flat like by gravity. Anyway,
pancakes are very affected by gravity, more so than others.
I don't know. Anyways, but then I was thinking like space and stuff. That's a gravity thing, and then I thought, the Gith. So I'm drawing a Gith.
Oh, I like it.
Nice.
Because I also thought this particular guy, especially with the abilities it has, if you like coupled this with some of those psionic spells from that Unearthed Arcana from a while back, this could be like another option for like a psionic class, I think. Obviously, like there is the psionic mage from that wizard from that Unearthed Arcana. But I think if you didn't necessarily like that one specifically, because it had quite a lot of stuff going on with it, this is like a really simple version of that, I think. Anyway,
controlling the area around you with your mind, effectively, instead of
exactly, yeah. And I'm drawing like a full scene for this one. So there's more going on.
Is he dropping a bulldozer on him?
Dropping a piano on him.
No, it's a. I've drawn a lot of mind flayers getting like attacked and defeated mind flayers in these videos. Anyway, let's talk about the extra class. Again, we're not going to talk about the abilities like super in depth, like talking about the numbers, because this is a book you should be buying if you want those things. there'll be a link to the D&D Beyond page where you can buy just the subclasses, or however much you want to buy of the book.
Help your boy Matt.
Help Matt. Help the Wizards of the Coast, and all that and all this. The first thing you get, level 2. This is actually one where you only get one thing when you adopt a subclass. I'm not sure if that's always the case for Wizards. I know there's a couple of subclasses where you... Yeah, I know, right? Where you get a couple of things when you adopt it.
For Wizards, it's unique. I think every single one of them has 2.
But this one just gets the one, but I think it's a very good thing.
It does 2 things.
It does 2 things.
It does do 2 things. So yeah, basically, you can affect a object or a creature. I like that it's either or. That's a cool thing, because again, Utility. It's not just like... Yeah, and it's more like you are affecting the gravity around it than actually the thing itself, which comes into the way it works, because from what I can read, it doesn't make a save.
It happens.
To happen against it. So you're not affecting the creature, you're affecting the world. So you affect a creature or an object, large or smaller. Again, larger, that's a good range of things. And the target's weight is doubled or halved, your choice, for a minute. And it's a concentration thing, and I guess you treat that as if it was a spell. So you can't be having a concentration spell and this active at the same time. But again, this doesn't require them to make a save. So that's already a guaranteed thing, which is really, really useful. I think that's probably a big issue. I know I've had it happen when you're playing a full caster and you're like, it's going to be my turn in 20 minutes when everyone else has had to go, and I'm going to cast this really good spell, and then they save, and you're like, well, see you in another 20 minutes, we'll try again. So having a guaranteed thing is, it's fun.
Yeah, it's good, and this next bit is the height of side grady. I can I can affect something with this.
When you halve a creature's weight, their speed goes up, but then they are weaker. They have disadvantage on strength checks and saving throws, which I think we were talking about this the other day when we were playing. Actually, strength saving throws don't come up a lot.
No.
But strength checks kind of do, because athletics is for grappling and everything like that. So that's the real downside for that. Having your speed go up by 10, that's pretty good. And the opposite is, of course, if you double the weight, their speed goes down, but then they have advantage with strength checks and strength saving throws. So that's pretty good. It's really puzzle solving-y. I can imagine having some Half-Life 2 physics puzzles coming up and you wanted to double the weight of a block and all this and all that. I think it's something that could be really interesting in combat, because it does have this, it's not all good or all bad either way. So it's kind of... I'm sure it has some very interesting applications.
But there isn't
in the fight.
There isn't a resource attached to it, is there? You can just...
just as an action.
You can just do it for a minute. So, you could... If you want to take some really heavy, big bit of loot back to a town to sell it or whatever, that's a...
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Yeah.
Encumbrance is not the most fun thing to always run, but it is important to have.
That's the thing. Yeah, encumbrance is not fun when they haven't got a solution to it. I think, and this is a really easy and elegant solution. Yeah, it could be really
having
fun.
to do it every minute isn't too illogical. That's fine. You could remember to do that. If it's just for a turn or something, that would be a bit.
Sure. Yeah. No, that would be silly, but then there's not tied to resource. I'm actually surprised that it's not tied to, because I could easily see this being attached to your intelligence modifier or something like that.
Yeah.
And if it was, I wouldn't be thinking, oh, that's annoying, that it's not good enough. I would just be thinking, yeah, that seems normal, but it's not super strong. So having that not attached to a resource, I think is really good.
It's using your use it a lot in combat, isn't it? So it's probably not something you're going to be busting out too often in a fight. So I guess that's maybe why they didn't attach it to a resource.
Yeah. I guess it's something that if you're, obviously you're chasing someone, getting another 10 feet movement, really good.
Yeah.
Having that on a mount as well, because you could be on a horse, make it lighter, run faster. I think it's probably mostly non-combat stuff. But if someone is, being grappled by something strong, they need to get out, then you can give them disadvantage.
Or you have the grappler, yeah.
Yeah, or vice versa, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's really cool.
It's really cool. I love that it's at will. It's just anything you want to be doing it. It also means that, if you're running around in the world, your character outside of combat will always have 10 feet more move speed, because you can always be casting it on yourself. And it could be cool, your character is, maybe people don't know you're a gravity wizard, right?
Yeah.
And you just seem to be very fast. And it's such like a One Piece anime thing that it's like, oh, he's reducing his own gravity, enabling him to move faster.
Yeah. I guess like we have not really talked a lot about like multi-classing when we've done these, but having that and then multi-classing into pretty much anything else could just be really... This level 2 ability is really good for any class, essentially.
It's fun.
And if you were to like multi-class, I don't know, something like fighter, and then you could just be running around with more movement, if you weren't using, if you weren't grappling stuff, I don't know, it's really cool. And also you can jump twice as normal, twice as far as normal as well.
Twice as normal,
which makes sense. Twice as normal, really average.
Really normal.
No, twice as far. I assume it means twice as high as well.
Such a cool puzzle solver.
Yeah, 100%.
And at 10th level, you could do it on huge creatures.
Yeah, which is cool because again, it's not something I was thinking. Oh, that sucks because it only works on large or medium. But at 10th level, getting that to work on huge, that's cool because there's
you can affect the gravity of larger things.
I had a problem with that, honestly.
Oh yeah.
My problem was that I immediately thought when I was reading through this originally, oh, huge and stuff. Oh, that means that I could do it to a dragon. And then I went, hang on a minute. Wouldn't it be cool if it had a little extra line which said, and a creature cannot use its fly speed?
Oh, I get you. Yeah, pull something out of the sky.
You can pull something out of the sky. That's so cool.
I guess having its movement decreased, because a lot of things that have a fly speed will have a 60 to 80, so reducing it would be...
It's just 10. It's like...
But that's the thing, just 10 is
still
not going to
moving very fast.
I can see what you mean.
The thematicness of at 10th level being able to ground a dragon by making it not able to carry itself.
Sure. But having it as something that doesn't require a save, that would be way too much. But yeah, I can see what you mean from a...
Although actually, from
ability perspective.
From a real world perspective...
Sure.
You could definitely argue with your DM that dragon cannot fly if it weighs twice as much.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, nature is finely balanced as all things should be. So it definitely wouldn't be able to. So depending on a DM.
Completely.
Yeah. Are there rules about encumbrance and flying? Because if something isn't strong enough to carry,
that's true.
That might be that could be. I think that'd be something that could be a DM's discretion kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I was DMing that and they doubled its weight, assuming it wouldn't be able to fly, I would probably make it not fly because that would be rewarding to the players and it makes sense and it would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. And
it
would be kind of weird to how you would because they'd want an explanation, and explaining that would be difficult because that's not how,
Yeah. If you have to just say, well, it doesn't say it can't fly, then that's not okay, so, yeah. Maybe make it
or
check
half the speed
to see if it can fly.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah.
It really, make it obviously it's really struggling, maybe.
Yeah.
Other than
very,
that,
very
awesome
cool
ability.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6th level, you get Gravity Well, which is very, very cool name. Very, ability name, as it were. Gravity Well, and then you do it.
I like some of the names for this class, but we'll get to
this one's all good, yeah. Oh yeah, this is very cool, very simple as well. Whenever you cast a spell on a creature, you can move it 5 feet to an unoccupied space. I'm basically reading it out loud because this is probably the shortest ability I've ever seen in a subclass. It's so simple.
Million caveats or anything.
Just,
it does thing.
You push a target when you cast a spell on it, and it can be
friendly.
The last sentence of it confused me a bit at first, but basically it's just saying if you're hitting an enemy with an attack, you can push them, and if you are hitting an ally and they want to be moved 5 feet, you can do that.
Yeah. You get your 15-foot push thunder waves.
Yeah, exactly. Just it's a really simple thing, but also I think it probably if you're playing super tactically, you could probably use it in some really cool ways.
Yeah.
And it means that you can have a lot of kind of because it's just 5 feet in the direction of your choice, so it doesn't have to be blowing things away. You could be sucking things in.
Yeah.
Movement stuff is always very good.
Shifting them around. I would expect, because we don't have a real copyright here, I would expect a Unearthed Arcana style box, when we were reading through the Unearthed Arcana.
Sure, yeah.
That would say that forced movements don't provoke opportunity attacks.
Yeah, that's the kind. Yeah. They don't provoke opportunity attacks. You can't move it into a guy to make them take bludgeoning damage, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good positioning tool. It means again you can help a guy if you have a healing spell or any support spell. You can get a guy out of a difficult situation, if they're like being threatened by several things in one space or whatever it is. Just push a guy off a cliff without having to make them make a con save or whatever it be. That's really good. And it doesn't say that they have to be a certain size, so this could be a gargantuan creature.
Yeah.
It doesn't say, there's no size limit on that
just
one.
Just as a living being.
Living being. Nice. Mwah.
Good.
That means you can't do it to an undead.
That's right.
Or a construct.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. But yeah, no, I really appreciate how like simple that is, but it's also fun. Like, it's not something that you're going to have to look up every time, because it's, you move a guy 5 feet when you cast a spell.
Yeah.
Done. Easy. Could that mean yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
You could pull the zip cord, as it were, and like go. And
when I cast shield,
yeah,
dart back 5 feet away from the enemy.
That'd be cool. But yeah, really, really cool book. Violent Attraction, another good name. This is at 10th level. Oh yeah, this is probably the, in my opinion, this is the least interesting of their abilities. It's not bad, but it didn't make me go like, oh yeah, cool. Basically, when someone makes a weapon attack, you can like increase the velocity of the weapon, I think is the way they're talking about it. And they do an extra 1d10 damage. And that's using your reaction to do that. And yeah, if someone like takes damage from a fall, you can use your action to increase the fall damage by 2d10, which I really like. Again, I guess like
coupled with gravity, if you push the guy off the cliff,
that's actually
then you
really
can
good
reaction slam him into the ground.
I didn't actually think of that. That's actually really good. That's actually cool.
Yeah, because particularly if you thunder wave, push him 15 feet, that's really likely to get somebody off an edge. Then you reaction to slam them down. So cool.
I think 10th level getting an extra d10 on a weapon attack every round, it's nothing superb. I guess that 2d10 on full damage is encouraging that kind of play, which is cool.
It is a reaction though, and it is guaranteed damage,
that is true.
Which is nice.
And on a rogue, it would crit, I guess.
Yeah,
it is the weapon that's doing the additional damage. Yeah. Sure.
This one is tied to intelligence as well.
Yeah, and this one is resourced. So you can only use it. Yeah. I could see that being maybe a lower level ability, like swapping that with something, but then I like the positioning of the other abilities anyway, so...
Yeah. This thing, by level 10, it's not scaling at all. This is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But again, as you say, Sam, like, having that guaranteed extra bit, it's going to help, especially in 5th, where the numbers are smaller. Like, a D10 will add up if it's every round. That one's still right. Not enough to make me not like it.
Now the coolest name.
Yeah, Event Horizon. The level 14th is an action, as usual. Most of these things are actions. You make a big gravitational energy thing, and you...
So it lasts for a minute, and it's a concentration spell. And if a hostile creature starts within 30 feet of you, it has to make a strength saving throw or take 2d10 force damage, and it can't move.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Every foot... And if it passes, everything is difficult terrain. Yeah, no, it's worse than that. It's difficult terrain.
Yeah, because it's 2 extra feet, so you'd have 10 feet of movement, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
On a 30-foot movement
Dwarf
character.
would have 5.
Yeah. Which is, it's really cool. Basically, you just make a big, like, sandwich splat area of your choice.
It's 30 feet of you, so it's like, it is, you become the event horizon, like, black hole around.
It's only creatures hostile to you as well.
Yeah, so that's really good. Again, 30 feet with you is crazy, 30-foot radius. And, only targeting hostile creatures. If it wasn't that, it would be kind of useless, really. It'd be unusable.
They can't move, or they can barely move.
And it's not even like no limit on what size it is. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, as it were. That is literally talking, about the effects of gravity. A lot of strength saving throws I'm seeing in this class. That's like a bit of a theme, I suppose, but it makes a lot of sense.
Fight against gravity.
Yeah. Again, 2d10 force damage isn't like crazy loads, but reducing speed to 0 obviously can be amazing.
Locking people down and just...
Yeah, and also just having that amount of movement reduction on even a failed save is really good.
And they keep repeating that because they're not good. They're going to still be in the area next turn, taking the damage every round.
It's going to be difficult for them to get away from it, even if they pass it. Like, if they're moving 10 feet, you can walk 10 feet quite easily.
Yeah.
We'll be back in it again.
Yeah.
And Wizard and at 14th level, you'll probably have a lot of decent movement options and via spells and whatever magic items and stuff. So
and with your other abilities, they fail the save, you can pull them 5 feet back in or push them around because your previous ability. You can be pulling them around inside it.
A very cool ability. It's exactly what you'd expect from like the ultimate of gravity like guy, as it were.
Yeah. And the best bit, you can do it all the time.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's tied to a long rest.
Or if you spend a third level spell slot.
You've
or
got
a third level
tons of slots.
Yeah, by
arcane recovery as well. And...
Yeah, so by 14th level,
yeah.
How many third levels would you have? I'm not going to look it up, but it's a lot.
You've got 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th level spells.
You might even have 7th by 14th, right?
I think you're only at... Maybe, actually.
Maybe.
Because you get 9th
No, I think so. But
17. Because, full cast. Anyway, really good. Probably better than most third level spells, I think. Especially because it does... Most like third level spells that are, similar kinds of things would also target your allies, I feel.
Despite maybe low damage or low output or whatever, it's so visual, so cool. It's like an ultimate ability. It is a MOBA ult.
Like,
yeah, 100%.
I casted Stop Move ability.
Yeah, Event Horizon.
Yeah. And again, like if you... Because again, you get these two of these cool abilities with the first one and this one, both concentration things. So I guess if you're like picking what spells you want to be taking, you're going to want to be taking some, not so many concentration spells if you want to be using these a lot, which I think you probably do because they're both really cool, and that's kind of... It's not the whole class, but it kind of is most of the class because, as you say, like the moving around really synergizes with this ability as well, and I guess even the first one, if you were to swap over, keeping people in positioning seems like a really strong part of this class.
In 4th edition, they called the mage the controller,
That's right. Wizard was a controller class. Yeah,
and this epitomizes like that battlefield control idea.
Yeah,
and along with the other of these classes, the Chronergy and the Echo Knight.
Yeah.
They're very anime.
They're very...
Not as a bad thing, but I can imagine a One Piece character of all of these guys. Because some of them are One Piece characters.
Well, it's true. But yeah, I think they're very...
cinematic.
I think that is dramatic. Yeah. We're talking about how the Chronergy Wizard had some very dramatic stuff
burning
going on with
all his exhaustion
and
change fate to his will and stuff
and this again very very cinematic as well. I think as well, hopefully if you do play this class, then your DM thinks I'm gonna make sure when I'm making maps I put in places to fall, ways to use your abilities out.
Yeah, ways to knock people off, or things that you couldn't be able to lift before that you could do with that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, as well,
that's just being a good DM.
That's true. Yeah.
And looking at the wizard spell list, because you can't look at this character without the wizard spell list.
Yeah, I mean there's
catapult, telekinesis.
Yeah, there's lots of flavor spells, force spells.
There's so many spells that are you affecting the world and gravity, and it could be such a cool character.
You could do Wall of Force as a kind of gravity hole that traps people in. You could you
could even Resilient Sphere. You could probably have a way that
you can have a very thematic spell book.
Yeah, much easier than you could for the Chronergy Wizard. I think Chronergy you could take haste and slow and stuff, but it's not. I think this one worked really really well with the spell list, and especially again as I say with the telekinetic spells from the Unearthed Arcana. I think there's stuff in there that you could make a decent Sonic guy if you didn't want to use that wizard, because again that one was a little more complicated than this. I think this is very tightly delivered.
I believe there was a telekinesis feat as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, it gave you Mage Hand, and you could do stuff.
You could lift more, and it was invisible and stuff. I believe.
I think that sounds familiar. Yeah. It's been a long time since I drew a full scene, so I was just I don't know. There's a lot of strange, little things going on in this pick.
Practice for Challenger is season.
Yes, well, I was thinking earlier. I don't think I've ever drawn a Gith, but I have once. I drew George Burns' not that George Burns. I drew George Burns' horrible Gith with his skeleton arm and leg, and he was the worst. It was ages ago, so it sucked.
He was more machine than man.
Yeah,
more bones that he found in the desert than man.
It's a terrible character.
It was truly terrible. This one's great. Anyways,
I like this composition a lot. He's really punishing this mind flare right now.
I haven't coloured it, but maybe I have, and I've cut this bit of me saying that I haven't coloured it. Maybe it'll be coloured.
Maybe this is not going to be found out by the public.
I did say anime, but I meant manga.
Yes, now, I'd really just I was going to make it look like a manga. 99%.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's very sick.
Overall, these 3 classes have been pretty good. So well done to Mr. Mercer and all the cool kids and cool cats. All the Jellicle cats at Wizards of the Coast.
No.
This has been a critical win rather than a critical fail.
Yeah, critical win. Is that really what you
that's what I call Natural 20s. I got a critical win.
Critical win.
Alright, and what's the opposite of fail?
I mean, success, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? Quick success.
Anyway.
Have you never heard of a synonym?
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, critical win isn't incorrect.
It's not completely wrong. But yeah, it's a cool book. I think Theros is coming out
in
a month or two.
Magic the Gathering.
Oh my god.
I'm famous. There's a great meme amongst my friends that I don't like Magic the Gathering. It's exaggerated for comedy, but I don't really know anything about it. But I do know that my 2 favourite Unearthed Arcana subclasses are going to be published in it. So we'll be covering those. that will be happening.
Challenge raters will never happen.
We're just going to do subclasses. We're subclass raters now.
Hey, Theros I think is coming out in a month or 2 or something.
Well, we can get a few episodes there, and then we can also maybe think of what the name for that series will be.
That's true. There'll be videos here that aren't just this. Speaking of synonyms, I can put an advert for another video that you guys didn't have anything to do with. Come back for Foamint.
Oh, heck
Find out what Foamint means.
I don't even know what it means, so
I'll
be checking it out.
Foamint.
I loved how much I had to strain to figure out what Foamint was. That was my favourite bit.
It doesn't help to see it written down. No. That's all I'll say. It does not make it make more sense. Anyways, I think that's all. Thanks again to Will. See you later, Wildemount.
Yeah.
See you when there's another one with more subclasses.
1v1 me.
Hey Matt.
Thanks, Wild Emone T.
Personal message to Matt Mercer. I know you're watching. Next time, make sure you didn't make 2 wizards. That was a rookie mistake to do 2 wizards in one book, Matt. I think you didn't. I think you did the first one and then forgot, and then wrote the other one.
Sorcerer.
Yeah, you didn't. You made 2 wizards, Matt, which was a bit weird. Next time,
try harder. Yeah.
To be fair, it's a bit weird that there's 2 wizards in this book. I think that's weird.
Well, a lot of the people that do Dunamancy is the wizards and the Kryn. So it's there's 2 organisations. It's a bit weird, Matt. I mean, there's the rest of the book about the campaign setting.
I mean, Matt, I've not watched any of your show, and I know nothing about the story or the lore. But it's a bit weird that they're both wizards.
Without any context, it's a bit weird, though, isn't it?
And yeah, sure, we did really like them both.
Yeah, they're both
good,
cool, and they both really work as wizards. It makes sense. But you should have made one of them like a warlock for no reason.
Maybe you should have done at least 2 fighters and 2 wizards. Then it would have felt a bit.
No, if it had been 3 fighters, now we're talking.